Pi just crashed to 40 cents, but wait, you know what everyone is missing while they're panic selling? I just discovered something that could completely flip this situation on its head. Yes, Pi Network just hit an all-time low, wiping out 86% of its value from the $3 peak. And yes, your portfolio is probably bleeding right now, but here's what nobody is talking about. 160 million Pi tokens are about to unlock in the next 30 days. Binance secretly surveyed users about Pi listing with 85% saying yes, and the RSI just hit oversold levels that historically signal massive rebounds. You know what I think? This crash might be the single biggest opportunity Pi Network has ever presented. Here's the thing. I need you to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages right now, because what I'm about to reveal is just the tip of the iceberg. You know what I've been tracking? Secret whale movements, exchange patterns, and insider developments that suggest something massive is brewing. The links are in the description below, and if you want to be ahead of the curve instead of always reacting to news after it's too late, you need my real-time updates. Now, let's talk about what just happened, and I'm going to be brutally honest with you. You know what's absolutely shocking to me as someone who's been following Pi since the early days? Pi just crashed below 40 cents and wiped out dreams that many of you held for years. When I saw this happen, I'll admit it, my heart sank a little. The market cap plummeted to around $3.13 billion, pushing Pi down to 44th position. You know what this means to me? We're looking at an 86% drop from that February peak of $3 that had everyone celebrating, including myself. But here's my personal observation. This crash isn't happening in isolation. The broader crypto market is experiencing serious turbulence right now, and in my opinion, this provides context that many people are missing. You know what I've been watching? Bitcoin dropped below $114,500, and even Ripple lost the crucial $3 level. From my experience analyzing crypto markets, this market-wide correction creates a perfect storm for altcoins like Pi. Here's what I think is happening. When Bitcoin falls, smaller projects get hit harder because investors rush to safer assets. I've seen this pattern before, and honestly, it's both predictable and brutal. Here's what's really driving the selling pressure, and you know what? This keeps me up at night when I think about Pi's future. We have almost 160 million Pi tokens scheduled for unlock in the next 30 days. Think about that. 160 million tokens that have been locked up, and now holders finally have the chance to sell. You know what I think? It's both understandable and terrifying. Put yourself in the shoes of someone who's been mining for 3 years and never had the chance to cash out. When that opportunity comes, many people will take it regardless of price. In my honest opinion, this was always going to be challenging, but I don't think anyone anticipated this much selling pressure at once. But there's another factor that concerns me even more than the unlocks. You know what the data shows? The total number of Pi tokens on cryptocurrency exchanges has surpassed 400 million, and is currently at an all-time high of approximately 405.5 million. This number keeps climbing weekly, and you know what that tells me? More people are moving their Pi to exchanges, ready to sell. I've been watching this trend for months, and in my experience, when you see this exchange accumulation, it usually means people are preparing to exit. This creates massive selling pressure, and honestly, I think this trend is more concerning than scheduled unlocks, because it shows a shift in community sentiment. Now here's where things get interesting, and you know what? This is where my opinion might surprise you. Despite all this negative news, there's renewed speculation about a potential Binance listing. The community has been buzzing about August 15th as a possible date, and you know what's fascinating? Binance already surveyed their users about whether they want Pi available for trading, and over 85% voted yes. Now, I've been around crypto long enough to know survey results don't guarantee anything, but in my opinion, this level of interest from Binance users is significant. Here's my honest take. While nothing is official, the fact that Binance even bothered to ask suggests they're at least considering it. I think there's more substance to this rumor than previous ones. But here's what I think you really need to know. Pi's relative strength index has dropped into oversold territory with a reading around 30. When RSI hits these levels below 30, it often signals that selling pressure might be exhausted and buyers could step in. I've seen this pattern play out numerous times, and in my experience, these oversold conditions often lead to at least a temporary bounce. However, here's my honest opinion. Technical indicators don't always overcome fundamental selling pressures. But if I'm being transparent, this oversold reading gives me some hope for at least a short-term recovery. You know what the key question is? Whether this oversold condition can overcome the fundamental pressures of token unlocks and exchange accumulation. The technical indicators are screaming oversold, but fundamentals still point toward more selling pressure. In my opinion, we're in a battle between technical signals suggesting a bounce and fundamental forces pushing for more downside. For those thinking about selling, you know what I want you to consider? The timing of everything happening right now. We're seeing maximum pessimism, maximum selling pressure, and maximum fear in the PI community. Historically, moments of extreme fear in crypto often turn out to be the best buying opportunities for those with conviction and patience. And while PI may not follow that exact path, the current crash could eventually present a similar chance. That said, we need to be realistic. 160 million tokens are about to unlock and not everyone will hold, which likely means more volatility and possibly an even lower bottom before any recovery. But what gives me hope is that despite the price drop, the PI network community remains highly engaged. People are still talking, sharing, and believing in the project. That kind of grassroots support usually disappears when a project is truly dying. But with PI, it's still very much alive. So what should you do right now? You know what my honest advice is? Don't make emotional decisions based on short-term price movements. If you believed in PI Network when you started mining, if you understood the risks and potential rewards, then those fundamentals haven't changed just because the price is down. However, if watching your PI value crash is causing genuine financial stress, then you should seriously consider reducing your position to a level where you can sleep at night. No investment is worth your mental health. This situation with PI Network is far from over, and in my honest opinion, we're just getting started with this volatile chapter. You know what I believe we're witnessing? A critical testing period that will determine whether PI can survive and thrive despite current challenges. The next few weeks will be crucial, and having accurate, timely information will be more important than ever. That's why I want to remind you again to follow my Telegram and Facebook pages for the latest updates. You know what you'll get there? Real-time information about token unlocks, exchange developments, and any news about potential listings that could impact PI's price. I share my personal thoughts as events unfold, and honestly, having access to timely information will help you navigate this challenging period. If this analysis helped you understand what's really happening with PI Network, and if you found my honest perspective valuable, you know what would help me continue bringing you this content? Hit that like button, leave a comment sharing your thoughts on PI's current situation, and make sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on. You know what I genuinely believe? The PI Network story is still being written, and while this current chapter is painful, it's far from the final chapter.